Well, good morning, West Coast, and good afternoon, East Coast, and hello, our valued customers, friends in between. Welcome, everyone, to our 12th. That's right. We started this in December, and here we are again in December, our 12th in a series of Denticon webinars, this one being Managing the Scheduler. My name is Kathleen Lee, Director of Customer Success. Today is Wednesday, December 28th, 2016, and I hope and pray it's a great day for you all. Today's topic, Managing the Scheduler, is going to be presented by Charmaine Biershank, Assistant Director of Customer Care, a great resource of knowledge not only in Denticon, but in pretty much all aspects of the dental field, clinical and clerical. Now, as you may know, friends and family that have been here before, the format of this webinar is 45-minute presentation, 15 minutes of Q&A, and after the webinar, a recording will be sent to you all. So you can replay it, you can review it, and we're going to post it also in Denticon's Help portal. There, Vanna White is showing it off for us, Help portal, for easy reference for any of your team members. So if you see what you like here and you want to share it with other team members, tell them to go to the Help portal, and we'll have it right there in the webinar section on the left. So now notice that you are all on mute, but you can ask questions. So right there in the GoToWebinar, we have a chat section. So you can go ahead and chat away. I'll be monitoring the chat. Charmaine is going to be doing the presentation, but you might want to hold your questions until the end, since we might address your question while Charmaine is presenting. I don't want you to miss out on the content as it's being covered. So we have about 100 registrants today, great turnout. And if we don't happen to get to your question, you can submit a ticket in the Help portal, and we'll reach out to you directly. So this way, if you have a very specific question about a very specific patient, a very specific day, we won't be able to, answer that question, of course, in the webinar, but send us a ticket, and then we'll get in touch with you directly, and we'll give you the love that you need. All right, so the appointment book. The appointment book is the heart of the dental practice, right? We prepare our operatories and we check in our patients from the appointment book. We schedule our next visit. We check out our patients from there too. And we look to future appointments. Hey, how are we doing next week? How are we doing next month? To confirm how we're doing as a dental practice. Great, we're very busy. And we look at the past appointments to follow up on our missed and our canceled. We bemoan the holes in our schedules. When I was in Hawaii, they called it pukas. We don't want pukas in our schedule. We don't want holes in our schedule. And we fret over how to set up the perfect day. The scheduler has a lot of features to help track and efficiently schedule our patient appointments, not only in one office, but across all treating locations. Aren't we cool? And our appointment book is still evolving. It's very sophisticated, and today we're going to go over how to set up the schedule and how to efficiently use the schedule to maximize our production and our collections. Okay, on to the topic, managing the schedule. Go for it, Charmaine.
Great. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone, as Kathleen says. As you know, if you've attended any of our sessions, we do like to occasionally do polls just to let us know who is in attendance, how we can better provide Denticon to be a better product for you. Let us know who's here with us, letting us be more proactive toward you. And so as you're getting along, those of you who continue to be with us, you know very quickly to weigh in so that we can go forward. We do appreciate that. And it does look like things have slowed down just a bit. So we're going to close that poll in about 5, 4, hurry up, 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. And so let's share that poll information with you real quick to let you know who's in attendance with you. And as we see, we do have more single locations than multi-locations, but it is almost neck and neck. And we also do have some multi-location practices here with us as well. We welcome everyone, and thank you so much for making time out of your schedule during this holiday week, so to speak, and hope that you have had a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, wonderful Kwanzaa, and then wishing everyone a Happy New Year coming up very soon. Speaking to that very quickly, as Kathleen mentioned, we do have the videos of the past webinars. We do want to encourage you, yes, especially here in this last week of December, looking into the start of 2017. One of the videos, the very first webinar that we did, talked about end-of-year tasks, as we're pointing out here, right at the very top of the list. We do encourage everyone to review that webinar. Make sure that you take care of all of the end-of-year tasks. And likewise, seeking the information here in the help portal, type in perhaps end of year. Here is, of course, that video we just referenced in the webinar section showing us where exactly that is. It also, we have a link here to say what should I consider at the end of each year to do, and also this one, which reports and activities do we recommend to do at end of month, and also, yes, end of year. There are also some other links there. We do encourage you to take advantage of the help portal, all the fantastic information that is in there. Quick, easy, at your fingertips assistance for wonderful information. So take advantage of those opportunities to learn more. As we look at the scheduler, let us define that there are two places in which schedule hours can be recorded. The first is in setup and offices. And of course, we have a schedule for the office. This is when the front doors are open. This does not let us know when a provider is available for patient care. This just says, when do I allow my people to walk through the front doors, my patients to come visit me, to make payments, to maybe pop in and make an appointment, whatever it may be. And so you've got the ability per office front door open time. It also allows you, well, before we leave there, it also offers you the opportunity within each location, how do you want the operatories to be named and to which column that each provider should be associated. And ideally, each one provider should be assigned to only a unique single operatory or sets of operatories, not allowing a provider to be assigned here as well as a different provider to be assigned here, because you'll have a duplicate opportunity of seeing those appointments and columns. It'll make sure that it'll look like a duplicated appointments, but not really. So each individual one provider assigned to a unique one operatory or set of operatory. Denticon does not work as far as a physical location in your scheduler. It's just what is the provider's responsibility for the day. Now, within each setup and provider's per office settings, we have, of course, each individual provider per individual location to which that provider is available to work, and also to which operatory that provider should be available to work in, to have appointments in, unique only for that one provider. And within that consideration of the provider setup, what is that individual's provider schedule for the week? When does that provider have available for taking appointments in that office location? There you go. And so right here we see a Monday, Tuesday, and Friday schedule for this location, for this provider, a different location, a different schedule, perhaps different operatories. In this case, it is the same operatory name. All right, very good. And when we start looking at the scheduler, it is sorted on this information right here in the parentheses. When we build a scheduler view to let us know a provider's availability, it will sort numeric alpha according to the information here in the parentheses. Where in the world does that come from? It's in the provider setup right here. When you add a provider, the very first field that you input is what is my provider ID. So if when we start looking at the scheduler, it does not show us the desired sort order that you want from left to right, we need to consider what is the information here in the parentheses from this field and manipulate it as you desire. All right, so once we get, number one, the operatories assigned in the office, number two, assigned to the provider with their unique schedule, how are we going to be able to make a schedule let us see the things we want to see? Well, before we go there, sometimes in our providers, they want to have an ideal flow of how they wish their day to flow. What would be their best world scenario? So for this particular provider in this particular location, Dental Excellence, she works again Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So on Monday, 8 o'clock to 10, she desires to have crown appointments. She wants to get her day started off, her week started off with a bang. She's willing to take a 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. new patient appointment. She'd like to have restorative procedures in the next hour. She's going to, of course, have a lunch break there. And then she would like to have, again, crowns and restorative work. Now, that's Monday. On Tuesday, it's a little bit different scenario. She's moving her new patient opportunities around to make it a little bit more convenient for patients to have, hopefully, a time that she can see them. Perfect. And so, again, Monday, as we see here at the column header, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on and so forth, it is per operatory location, should they be assigned to different operatories. So you can define each operatory, each location, each provider, the way the provider really wants a daily flow to be. All right, so once we get all of this in place, the schedule, the operatories, perhaps the provider schedule, how are we going to be able to review that schedule to let us know exactly what we should be looking at? Who's available when? What do they like? So that's going to be in scheduler views. And so right here in my Dental Excellence location to which I am logged in here, I have two views already set up. Dental Excellence, which we are seeing this set up here, it's going to show me my two general dentists, Dr. Brout and Dr. Ford, our hygienist, Patricia Locke, and then I have a specialist, Dr. Williams, and I have an orthodontist, Dr. Wood. In this particular scheduler view, I've defined I really only want to look at my two people who are normally here most all of the time, my two general dentists, and also my hygienist. I can add as many views as I desire by clicking the Add New View button at the bottom, provide it some kind of name, whatever I decide it to be, select my provider, select my office location, select my operatory name, push it over to the right, say build that view for me. Once I get it all in place the way that I desire, I can, of course, click Save. Well, I'm not going to add that one for real. We've already got a couple that we can deal with right now, but you can certainly add as many scheduler views as you like. Some offices do all general dentists, only a general dentist with an assigned hygienist that they normally work with, or an all hygienist scheduler view. That's up to you. You get to determine that. Now, when you do define these scheduler views, as we're seeing here, we want to assign them to the user to make it more proactively easier for them to understand what, again, the provider wants to do. So within Setup and the second one, User per Office Settings, I can say that this user here, which is what I have logged in right up here at the top, PDDS 2900, there's my user ID. For this location, I want to default to this view, Dental Excellence, my default, let's call it master schedule. And in Great Smiles, I can say I want a different scheduler view for that location. If I need to change it, I'm going to pick on one of our dear VBS people here. She is currently assigned to the office hours. She has no idea how that provider really likes that day to flow. So we're going to click the word Edit here. We're going to select the default scheduler view, click Save, and so now when our Cassandra in BBS accesses this account for whatever reasons we need, especially for BBS insurance verification purposes, she's going to default to the scheduler view that helps her the most. Who's available right now? Who do I need to focus on? There we go. Perfect. We love that. So now with that defined, when I, in this case, I'm assigned to the Dental Excellence scheduler view for Dental Excellence Office, it tells me exactly which view I am looking at, User View Dental Excellence. Well, I remember that I had a different view, and I can switch at any time to see a different view that I desired. So right here, it shows me only my general dentist and my hygienist. If I want to return to my full scheduler view, I just click right there. Notice I did not use the word back. I said return. I selected. I chose. So always going forward to exactly where we want to be. Perfect. Likewise, when I am here, I may want to say, I know that Dr. Angelina Brout works at various locations, and I want to see what her schedule is throughout the week very easily without having to switch around a whole lot. So this right here, the word provider, allows me to say, I want to look at Dr. Angelina's schedule, and it shows me, again, what I'm looking at in the upper left-hand corner, daily view by provider, and I selected provider Dr. Brout. And it shows me that for her setup, she has operatory 1 in Dental Excellence there at that header. And also over here, it says that she also works at Great Smiles. So today, with all gray in the Dental Excellence column, she's not really working in Dental Excellence today. She's actually working at Great Smiles. Well, someone over at Great Smiles is not doing a very good job of making appointments for her. So she's got a really lax day today. I'm hoping that maybe someone just did not put a holiday in for her. But nonetheless, it is what it is, as I say. And so we could also take a look. She does work in Dental Excellence on Tuesdays. And so there we see her watermark of availability for Dental Excellence. She is not available for Great Smiles. It's all grayed out. So a great, wonderful way to be able to find what their daily flow is. Very helpful if, let's say, a provider works in the morning at one location, an afternoon in another location, perhaps even a third location late in the evening. And so you would be able to see the provider's entire day's schedule right here this way. I love that. Perfect. So let's just retrieve that. Now, when I do select all providers, notice that it looks a little bit different. This says all providers and all operatories, which is my office hours. It does not let me see my provider understanding. The header of each of these columns looks different. That just means all bright blue is just when my office is open. I really, again, want to see exactly what I should. My Dental Excellence provider schedule. Perfect. All right. So that's a wonderful way to maneuver around. Also, I may be in this location wanting to know, hey, doctor might be having a holiday or a vacation coming up, and I really want to take a look at just that a particular provider's calendar to consider appointments. I'm going to drop right down, selecting the word scheduler, going to view a particular provider's schedule. Well, here is December, as we're seeing, for Dr. Brout, as we see right here at the top. We can click a different provider if we choose. We also can move to a different month. And yeah, I remember she has a vacation. I just didn't remember when it was. It happens to be January 16th through the 27th. Fantastic. And of course, if I hover over that, it gives me a wonderful little help tip. And so I would not be wanting to make appointments for her during that period for a patient. Right here, it says that she is open on the 10th. And as you see the hover tip, I can go directly to that day. Again, selecting that, choosing just that provider, it shows me her schedule for the day in both locations. All right, so it's a wonderful way to maneuver around, see the things that you are looking for within the scheduler. All right, so as we take a look at how do we fill up the schedule, remember that last month we talked about Appoint Now, and it's a great way to allow your patients to make appointments for themselves. And as we saw in our last session, the queue does mean that that patient has gone online and done an appointment by Appoint Now, just as that detail box does provide to us. Very good. So we're not going to belabor that. You can take a look at that webinar online and see more information about that and review that for yourself. All right, but let's say I have a patient who calls in. He's a brand new patient, and we are not able to find this young man when he says, hey, I made an appointment. I really do not remember when it is. So Patrick Phillips here calls the office. I'm not able to find him as an active patient record. I choose inactive patient records. I still cannot find him in any way in the world. And he says, oh, yeah, I've never been there. Oh, well, that makes a whole lot of sense. Well, I can't find you. So let's go let our scheduler help us find his appointment to remind him when he's supposed to come here. We're going to, again, going to the word scheduler, we're going to locate an appointment, find an appointment. This function here is prime for those new patient appointments. We've got to have some general idea of what the date range of that new appointment happens to be. We can also choose different date ranges to default the days, but I'm going to leave it there for that 2-week run. He thinks it's sometime around in there. I'm going to type just exactly what the search parameter is, typing in his last name, click search, boom, right there we go. All right, Mr. Patrick, you have an appointment on Tuesday, January 3rd at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. We have reserved for you an hour and 15 minutes. And yes, you are a new patient according to our notations. You do not have any insurance according to your conversation when you made the appointment. Is that still true, yes or no? Have a conversation with that patient. Perfect. And we look forward to seeing you. Fantastic way to find those new patient appointments. Perfect. Now, to retrieve, not back, but to retrieve our scheduler, we're going to click this counterclockwise arrow when it says it's going to load the default appointment view for my logged in user, brings me right into that schedule the way I should be looking at it by my provider setup. Perfect. All right. And so let's just say I have a patient. Let's just fast forward to another opportunity here. Let's see, who did I have? I have somebody by the last name of Hilton, I think. I looked for something weird on that one. All right, he wants to make an appointment. Well, he does have an appointment here on today, actually, but he wants to make another appointment. He has one also there in the future, and maybe we still want to make some appointments for another kind of thing that he needs. So maybe we'll just make it for this one. Adding that to his treatment plan, we're going to click here. We're going to go to new appointment, always working from the treatment plan to make appointments the most proactive, the most efficient, the most effective way to make appointments and tie things together. And so from here, I need to find a particular time that will work. And it's, rather than looking page by page, day by day, I'm going to let Denticon help me find a time period right here, find a slot. And so right here, it does default to today's date because that's what I started at. Again, it looks approximately 2 weeks out, but I can look a little bit further if I need. I'm going to extend that to the end of January. I want to reserve 75 minutes of time for him. He's willing to be able to come in any time that my provider, actually in this case, my office is open, but if I want to use a particular provider, in this case maybe Dr. Ford, that I will be able to change those dates. Maybe he's not able to come at 7 o'clock. He can be there by 9, but he's really got to get out of there by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I can change those dates. It's going to look for a 75-minute period of time. Now, no matter what my setup of when my provider is available for particular days, I can leave this here. And if, for instance, Dr. Ford is not scheduled in the provider setup to work on a Monday, it's useless that I have to unselect that. It will not find an appointment for someone who does not have a schedule set up for that day in that provider's setup. So I'm going to use Dr. Ford. I'm going to say look in his operatory in which he is assigned. Click the find slot, boom, boom, boom. First availables for this young man to have an appointment. It shows me the first opportunities of appointments first up. I might be able to see more appointments in that date range by clicking next result. And you see that, yes, the dates do change going further out. But I'm going to say, let's get you in, first out. I can get you as early as 9 o'clock tomorrow with Dr. Ford. That's great for him. We're going to click that. It tells me right here that I'm working with that find an empty appointment spot function. And it shows me right here in green. And my hover tip brightens up that text, by the way. It says I found that appointment from my find slot, search, 2 words together, sorry about that. And I can double click to add that appointment right there in that spot. Perfect. Well, now it knows exactly who I'm working with on my patient. It also, just like all of our other functions in making appointments from the treatment plan, knows proactively my procedure I've selected. Let's click add. Let's make sure that maybe if I want to see my production type here, maybe this could be an emergency for that limited oral evaluation. Pain in upper right back. All right, very good. So click save. We're off and running. We now have a new appointment for that patient. Very quick, very efficient. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, we also could use the same kind of a function, but looking for particular production types. Same type of parameters that we're looking for, date range that we want, time limit that we wish, or time of the appointment, rather. Do I want to know all my providers? Yes, who are available for a particular type of production, whatever I choose, whatever it may be. If I'm looking for an implant production type, for instance, or a restorative type production, I can, again, define whatever dates, whatever times, whatever days that I want to, and there it goes. Dr. Angelina has some opportunities up first, and we can start making an appointment, again, right for the patient. Tells me again, that's what I selected from my find search, and I can start making an appointment. Well, in the negotiation section, oh, wait, you mentioned one that was right behind that. Why do I have to go through that search again? Look right here. I can click here. I can see that list again. Wow, how wonderful is that? Okay, we want to come in on Friday the 30th. Perfect. Well, no, not that one, the one before it. Okay, well, we'll switch. So we've got some arrows here. We've got some opportunities here to look at that listing to be able to define exactly what you're looking for most efficiently, most effectively. fantastic. We love it. We love it. By the way, we did mention last time about Appoint Now. We just did reference it as well. Does your organization have a website to offer Appoint Now as we look at letting the patients be a part of the proactive ability to make appointments, to be able to reserve times on your scheduler? It's a wonderful, fantastic way to put some ownership and responsibility into the patient's hands, giving them some power in your office. Perfect. Well, it looks like we've got a really quick response to that. Let's show that to you right there. Overwhelmingly, yes, most people do have a website. Perfect. We love it. And we know that you will enjoy using all of those patient-facing features that we discussed last month. Perfect. All right. So here we go. We're going to go into our scheduler once again. You bet. All right. And so let's just say ring, 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 ring. Someone calls in and says, hey, I have an appointment. I told you I'd be there, but things have changed in my life. I need to move my appointment. It happens all the time. We grit our teeth, let them do that. And so let's just take, for instance, that Miss I'm a Bright right up here at the top, the very first of the day. She perhaps called yesterday, for instance, and said, hey, you know, that the time is okay, but it'd be better if I could move. Is there a possibility I can move to tomorrow, sometime else? And you look at the schedule and you go, well, I do see your plan for crown. It's a restorative type procedure of sorts. It is a crown procedure, yes, but it could be classified as restorative in my office world. I do have a restorative slot here, however, the key thing is I have only 1 hour here. Her appointment is 1 hour and 15 minutes. I don't have a good opportunity to move her unless I get permission from the provider to perhaps bring her in a little into the lunch hour or maybe stay a little bit later. Well, staying later on these days, that's probably not a good idea. So, sorry, Miss Bright, I don't have anything to move you to for today. Sorry, we'll see you at 8 o'clock. However, next call comes up. Miss Carrie Kennedy says, hey, you know, same kind of scenario. I like that day. I just really don't like that appointment time if I can move it at all. Can you move me anywhere else? The afternoon will be wonderful in this case. Well, absolutely. We have a 1 hour appointment slot available. We have an appointment for you reserved for 1 hour. How does 1 o'clock sound to you, Miss Carrie? Perfect. Fantastic. All right, let's just move you down. Single left click. Slide your mouse click down. Holding that mouse click down, by the way. Release your mouse click. Well, that's not where I want to put it. I don't want to put it at 12:45. All right, I want it at 1, so I'm going to put it there. Release my mouse. Yes, I really want to move that appointment to that preferred time. Perfect. It does change that to schedule because Denticon does not want to assume what the appointment confirmation was before is exactly the same now. Let me just say, hey, I'm on the phone with you. I'm going to set your appointment status as confirmed. We'll see you at 1 o'clock. Now this does open up 1 hour. In this case, again, we could contact our provider. Would you be willing to take 15 minutes out of your lunch break, move Miss Bright down according to her preferences? If that's available with a provider, contact Miss Bright. Would you like to come in at 11 instead of 8? So we've got a great way to move around the schedule. Perfect. Well, it says, you know, I really do need to move that. It's really going to be more convenient for me. So I, as an office person, know proactively that I do have a time available for Dr. Ford to see that patient at a different time. So the easiest way to move an appointment in a known spot is a cut and paste. So I've right-clicked, select cut. I'm going to go to my provider's next appointment time. I've got 1 hour here. He says, you know what? Just put her right here at 10 o'clock. I'll give up that restorative section. And she says, perfect. Moving it one day is perfect for me. So right-click, paste, boom. She's done. Easy, easy, easy to cut and paste. Perfect. Well, now she says, oh, you know what, that's just really not good for me. Can you find me another time? I don't really care when. So right here on the reschedule option, right-click and reschedule, this gives us an opportunity very similar to what we looked at for finding a slot and finding it by production type. It puts my appointment in basically a clipboard, a thumbnail, thumbtack over here, whatever you want to call it, sticky note on the side, lets me see the appointment that currently is, tells me the date that appointment currently resides, looks approximately 2 weeks out. That, of course, can change my date range. It needs to be still a 75-minute period of time for that 75-minute appointment. But she says, you know, instead of the time that you already have me on the scheduler, I can come in as early as 8 o'clock if the provider's available. And as long as I'm out by 12:15, and by the way, let's watch AM and PM, right, because we don't want something to be really weird, and I'm available anytime that provider's available, you're willing to move me, I'll take what I get, and so I'm going to, again, find a slot. And so, no, Saturday's really not available. I have family times, but Wednesday, perfect, 8 o'clock, perfect. I'm going to select that. I'm going to reschedule that, move that over as we're seeing to the date and time that I selected in my search, click Save, boom, she's moved. Perfect. So if you need assistance to be able to find a place to move an appointment, this is wonderful. If you already know that the appointment move has a place to be, this is the most logical feature right there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. One more quick little launch of a poll, if you will. Talking about Appoint Now before we go to the next topic. How many people already do use Appoint Now? It's a wonderful feature, again, to let your patients look at your schedule, so to speak, not actually your Denticon schedule, but the things that you've set up, and be able to make a quick appointment. It's a wonderful opportunity for them to proactively help you be very efficient. Wonderful. Very good. We've got some great responses in there, and good. All right, so we're slowing down on that response. Let's just show you that overwhelmingly in this thing. Wow, lots of you are just not using that. Vast majority of you are not. Quite a few are unsure. We're hoping those unsures really are using it. You're just not fully familiar with it. That's okay. All right, but we certainly do appreciate your weighing in on that feature right there, that poll for us. Perfect. So what I've done as you took the poll is I re-accessed my provider per office settings, and I have actually two specialist providers, Dr. Williams and Dr. Miller. In my setup, they're both periodontists. I believe they're periodontists, endodontists. One of the two, I don't remember, I have to admit. They are, let's go double check, they are
muted.
Very good. All right, so here in my per office settings, I say that Dr. Williams right now, according to my schedule, does work. Well, as of December 31st, just a few days from now, he's not going to be working for me any longer. He's opening his own practice, or he's whatever the case may be. But right now, from February 1st of this past year, or this current year, right now, 2016, he does have a Thursday schedule, but effective the end of this year, he no longer is going to be working. But he has appointments that we need to make sure that Dr. Miller is able to see. And as we are looking here, starting January 1st, 2017, the next day, he's going to be able to pick up patient appointments. But as of just a few days ago, when we hired him and negotiated with him to be here, he did not have a schedule. So what we need to do is quickly roll over all of Dr. Williams' appointments to Dr. Miller. So the key thing is both providers have to be entered. They each have to have a schedule of some sort, and they each do have to be assigned to an operatory. All right. Well, Dr. Williams and Dr. Miller do share that same operatory name, and that's ideal because one is not going to be working at the same time as the other. So let's go to utilities. Let's do a real quick move of some sort and use this wonderful opportunity here within your office setup to move appointments to a particular provider. All right, so for all of my appointments effective the first day of January through about a year from now, actually 2 years, all of 2017, all of 2018, that's wonderful. I need to move them from my current provider in his current operatory to my upcoming provider to my specialist. There you go. When I click change, now that moves all of my appointments from one to the other. And so if I look at my schedule, I know that in advance of the session that I did have a patient who had an appointment on February 9th, right here. It was with Dr. Williams, and now it's assigned to Dr. Miller. But this column is not reflecting Dr. Miller's color and name. So what do we do to correct that? we're going to go right back into our wonderful scheduler view that says, hey, up until then, we perhaps want to take a look at having this doctor be added to this location, to that operatory. Let us be able to proactively start scheduling for him. And so there we go. We've got Dr. Williams and also Dr. Miller in that scheduler view. Refresh that scheduler view. Let me see both columns. I see Dr. Miller here. I see Dr. Williams here. Same operatory column. See the one are working today. Dr. Williams is working tomorrow, and he is not going to be working on, let's again go to February 9th. Very good. Now it looks duplicated, but it's not. It just says they're both assigned to the same operatory. We can't have two patients at one time from different providers in the same chair. What I need to do effective December 31st at the evening or the early morning hours of January 1st is go into the schedule setup. Let's click edit. And at that point, take Dr. Williams out of that scheduler view so that when I do take a look at my scheduler effective January of any time, it now shows me only Dr. Marcus Miller, not Dr. Williams. Perfect. So a great way to be able to look at our schedulers very easily. Wonderful. We love that. So when you add and change providers, make sure that you add and change and edit your scheduler view to be able to look at that. Perfect. All right, let's get into today's schedule. Once again, clicking that wonderful star icon, always be able to quickly access today's schedule. Perfect. Awesome. So we talked about Appoint Now. How do we fill the schedule? Appoint Now, of course. How do we fill the schedule? By things in our own office. Well, we've talked about in the past treatment plan reports. So if we click here, go to our treatment plan status detail, I'm going to be able to, in this case, at the end of the year, maybe look at everything so far that I've input and diagnosed within this year that has not already been scheduled, not already been completed. Be able to take a look at my report right there, generate that for myself. And I do have quite a few things that people have been recommended to have. We don't need to let them fall through the cracks. Let's pick up the phone. Let's get them on the schedule, fill our schedule. So this treatment plan status report allows us to do things like that. Perfect. We also need to consider that recall reports need to be generated periodically, as we've talked in our past webinars. We're not going to deal a whole lot today about the recall, but we're holding that for a future webinar. So just real quickly, you've got the opportunity to come in here and review how to do that on your own, a little bit in advance of the webinar, but we will be covering this perhaps a little bit more in detail, not perhaps, but we will be covering it more in detail to be able to let you say, hey, I need to follow up on people. In this case, I want to catch everyone who does not have a recall already posted. I don't need to let them fall through the cracks either. So we need to get these people in for appointments. Let's not stress about that one today, but we will cover that in a future webinar for us. But we also have people, for instance, who do miss appointments, who do cancel appointments, and we need to get them back on track. And so what we want to do is define a couple of these reports first. This appointment cancellation list and this missed appointment list are historical records. It lets you know who has missed, who has canceled, how many times they have canceled. It does not let you know if they already have made an appointment. This report right here is the one that you're looking for. Who has missed, who has canceled, who has not yet been proactive or that we have followed up out on us to make a future appointment. Well, again, I want to clean up my year a bit. So I'm going to go back to January 1st. I want to know all my providers, any appointment that is missed or canceled that has not yet been rescheduled. Boom. Wow, I have a lot of people. Well, not entirely. Look at this date. For June 27th, yes, there was a missed appointment. For this date, December 2nd, there was a canceled appointment. But then look at these dates. it knows that my appointments for today have not yet been handled as being missed, as being canceled, or being completed. So it does show me temporarily on this appointment call list today's appointments until they are handled, as we talked about in the past, completing those appointments. So don't stress too much because we've got a lot of different appointments. Actually, maybe we consider that up till yesterday, who has missed or canceled. And we will be able to see much more effective information right there. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, Mr. Bright, you see you're supposed to have had an endodontic therapy on that tooth. Want to get you out of pain. Gosh, I hope it's not giving you any more problems. Hopefully it's not since June, but we need to get you in. Hey, Mr. Roberts, it was a new patient appointment. We know that you had a family emergency. Our staff made a notation of that. We expected you to call back. If you haven't, we're proactively taking action on that. Would you like to make a new appointment for us? So allowing us to reach out to our patients to get them in. So this is just a report. Wonderful way to jot little notations and whatnot, but out in a green world, we'd like to actually see that in a more proactive way. Let's an interactive way. So again, on my scheduler, I'm going to go to the word scheduler. I have that great list right there, call list. So once again, I want to see anyone who was from January 1st, right there, to yesterday. So I'm going to click there, actually change my date to yesterday. I proactively looked there. All right, any provider that I need to. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Click search. What can I find? All right, Mr. Roberts, same information we saw on that report, and I can say, Mr. Roberts, we need to make you an appointment. Absolutely. As we're seeing on my hover tip, I can click there to select it, or I can proactively be a little lazy, double click if I want to. It lets me go into exactly what we saw before, the reschedule opportunity, search for an opportunity to make an appointment. Let's get you in. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's go. I can get you in as early as Friday. Perfect, fantastic. Let's reschedule that. And it tells me a little pop-up that he had at least one missed or canceled appointment that's not off the call list. By the way, by making this appointment, it takes him off that call list. We don't have to follow up with him anymore. Love that. Perfect. Got that. Now, click Save. He has a new appointment. Keep our fingers crossed that he makes this one because we really want him into our office as a new patient. Fabulous. Wonderful. Perfect. Great ways to do that. Well, now, also, we can look at people who have appointments. Ring, ring, ring. We're going to pick on our dear friend, Mr. Hilton, here again. He's my last access patient. That's the way we like to proactively get to him. He does have a future appointment January 9th. And he says, I'd really like to get that appointment scheduled a little bit earlier if I could, if you have an opportunity to do so. Well, I'm right here on this record. I can click right there, and it takes me to this provider's schedule. So instead of my full dentist and hygienist, it says I want to look at my hygienist schedule, Patricia Locke. She, again, is available for dental excellence or great smiles. He wants to keep it in dental excellence. It's closer to where he is. I can right-click and edit that appointment. I can say that he wants to be on a short notice. He's more available to be on a Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday all day, or Thursday morning. Proactively save that. Perfect, perfect. And so now, if something comes available, maybe my hygiene schedule is falling apart for the day, I need to get someone to fill that spot, I can go into here. I can go to short notice, and I can say any appointment that is marked in a particular time that is for any short notice. I want to search by short notice. Maybe my Wednesday morning is falling apart. And I can search for anyone who has an appointment marked for that. Well, I have two opportunities. Sam Smith says she's willing to come in, and so is Steve Hilton. I've got a 60-minute period of time. I've got a 75-minute period of time. So depending on what we need to fill in, we've got that opportunity to quickly move forward the patients. Ring, 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 call those patients, get them to move forward. Wonderful way to do so. Quick way to move things around. Great. So the thing is that Denticon helps you be quite proactive, quite able to be able to move things around, search for things in various ways, be able to proactively find the things you want, make your schedule work better for you, and be able to look at the things for yourself. So why in the world, again, just as a recap, do we want to do that? Well, first of all, we want to be able to see things the way that we want them to be, of course, and be able to proactively help ourselves be able to understand the schedule much better. When is the provider available? When should we make appointments? It makes for better staff efficiency. It saves our time tremendously and allows us to maximize that production. And of course, a recap to the online appointment now, it's the way the technological world is. Perfect. Good deal. Well, so we hope you enjoy that, and we hope that you utilize those tools for yourself. So Kathleen, do we have any questions that have come in during the session? Kathleen, are you on mute talking with people? Perhaps. Hello. Well, okay. All right.
Hey there, Charmaine. Yeah, I got muted in the middle
are.
of it. Welcome. Hey, I'm back. Woohoo. So I answered thank you. Yeah, exactly. So I answered a couple of questions. I wrote down a couple myself. Why don't we give our friends here a chance to ask some questions if you have any. And I'll give you a couple of hints because I've written some down myself, like effective schedule. I can't schedule in the future. What's going on? So a couple of minutes, if you folks have any questions you want to ask, go ahead and type in your question there in the chat session. And while we do that, let me ask then a question about I can't schedule an appointment in the future. What the heck is going on? Charmaine, do you know that one where on the setup in the offices we actually have a feature where it says you can't schedule an appointment to a future date? So if you want to show that kind of very hidden, sneaky little thing there.
It is a hidden little sneaky thing. It does say, it's in this setup. I was with it because I never look at, scheduler end date right here. I know, I never use it in my accounts, but I know that some offices do, some accounts do. A scheduler end date, if that is indicated with a particular day, then true. You are not able to make an appointment beyond the date that's indicated. And so we're assuming that your office administration staff is controlling that. Maybe it's a rolling 12 months in advance, that you wouldn't be able to make an appointment 12 months plus 1 day beyond. So, yeah, that's available.
Exactly. And so then part two to that would be, right, where they say, hey, we're still trying to figure out the schedule for the summer, so let's not let anybody schedule appointments in the summer, and you can put that end date. But then now that you've figured out what your schedule is for the summer, it's December 2016, and we're already thinking about the summer, that's where then the effective scheduler comes in, which is a really cool feature. So SB, if you wouldn't mind, throw us a little bit of effective schedule love out there.
Sure, absolutely. So, all right. So Dr. Angelina says she wants to work maybe a little bit less schedule. Maybe she wants to drop this Friday for whatever reason. I'm going to come in here and edit this. I'm going to add a new schedule by the Add New Schedule button. I'm going to say effective as of a particular day. There we go. I'm going to say not 1900. Boom, boom, boom. I actually would click that. I'm going to fast forward to the current years, right? So she's by default from perpetuity. Here we go. So effective in 2017, perhaps in the 1st of June, she wants to cut out those Fridays. So as of a particular day, I'm going to go here and just override those hours. She's still going to be 8 to 5 Monday and Tuesday, but I really don't want to work any Fridays. All right, so we're going there. We want to save that schedule to my list of dates here. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. I did that not take a new schedule. Let's just get that out of the way, start that over one more time. Oh, I did that. This is a common thing. Regretfully, I did it by accident. I didn't fully click the Add New Schedule, evidently. So right now it's going to show that she does not have any schedule whatsoever until June 1st. Let's change that back to where we want it. Let's just say January 1st, 2015. Save that schedule. A little common mistake. All of us are human. Some of us make, there we go. Now we've got that button grayed out. Tells me I can change to a different date. Oh, there we go. Let's go that way. 2017 again, June 1st, 8 a.m. Actually, I'm going to proactively do this. Copy my schedule as of the previous one. There you go. And change. Click Save. Now it says that's fully saved. I have 2 different unique dates, and I can save the entire thing. So as of her setup, currently she's working, well, I just made a total mess of all that. Let's go add her Fridays back in. I know. Well, just the best laid plans, right? Exactly.
But
just
the theory as
you're
but the theory as you're doing that, though, and it's really more what does the feature do, is it allows you to change your schedule. So today in the winter, you might be closed on Saturdays and Sundays, but perhaps in the summer when it's busier, you want to be open on Saturdays, all day and maybe even Sundays on a half a day. So you can then say, as of 2017 June, we're going to be working on Saturdays. So while you're scheduling appointments today in the winters in January and February, nope, can't schedule appointments on Saturdays. As you're scheduling your recalls in the future, look at it, there it is, 6 months from now, the Saturdays are open. So it's very cool to be able to schedule different days open and times now versus in the future using the effective scheduler.
Correct. And also to reference back again to our upcoming provider who's here, we need to have a right now schedule to be able to see them on the scheduler view, which is blank. He's not working. It's all grayed out. But effective a different day, he does start seeing patients. So we do get a lot of tickets and questions. Why can't I make an appointment for my upcoming provider? But we usually find we do not have a right now schedule. Very important to have that right now schedule. Very good.
Yep, okay, and then the next thing I was going to say, mention a little more about the order of the user view. You mentioned it, and I, who know exactly what you're talking about, caught it, but it might not be so obvious that the ID number, as you were showing in setup providers, the ID number of the provider becomes really important once you start creating user views. And I hear a lot of users say, hey, I want the hygienist to appear first, all the way on the left-hand side, and then Dr. Jones, and then Dr. Smith. How do I order the providers that show up in the scheduler view? And so that's all based, on the ID number. There it is, that tricky little ID number that you don't think about it when you're first setting up your hygienist, right? You're like, I don't know, what's the ID number? I'll just make it her name. But then you find out later on that the user view is going to look at that ID and then order it in the ID alpha, not grapha, but alpha numeric order. So yes, Charmaine, thank you for showing that a little bit more.
Sure. Perfect.
Yep. So the if you wouldn't mind, Charmaine, do providers. If you can pull down the provider menu there for me. Yep. So there you go. So you're seeing that one Hyge in alphabetical order, is coming before D, and then F is next, and M and S. So that's the order. So if you wanted it Steph Wood to be the first one, you'd have to change her provider ID S Wood to be 1 or something like that, or an A, something that shows her in the beginning of the list. I've got some questions here, a little bit more feature-y. Marie Tilson, hey, thank you, Marie. She's wondering, hey, is a clipboard plan for the future in development of the software where you can take multiple appointments and cut them to the clipboard and then move them to the new appointment? Why would she ask this? Guess why? Multiple family appointments, right? The Fitzpatricks, it's mom and dad and 2, 3, 5, 6 kids. Guess what? We want to reschedule all of those appointments, so she wants to be able to clip and put those to the side. So we don't yet have the ability to put all of those appointments to the side. Charmaine, if you don't mind, show a little bit about family scheduling. What we do show you at least is all of the people in a family as you're trying to schedule. And as Charmaine is figuring that out or going to bring that up, what I do want to mention, though, is that we're coming out with the ability to have you vote on a feature. So this way, you guys using the schedule, Parature, can then put in what your feature request would be, right? You put those in Parature, feature request, in the help portal, submit a ticket, feature request. We call it Parature. My apologies. You don't know what that is. But in the help portal, submit a ticket feature request. You can put in your feature request. And then what we're going to work on doing is to be able to sort those feature requests and let you vote on them. So this way you're going to have a little bit more power on what you want in terms of changes in Denticon. And as the power users coming to these webinars, you're going to learn about this first. So you can vote, you can put in your feature through a ticket, and then you can vote on that feature. So that would be kind of cool. And so then here for you, though, Marie, is a little bit about family scheduling. If you didn't know we had it, it at least lets you know all of the family members in a family. So as you're scheduling them, then you can one by one schedule them. But no, it doesn't allow you yet to take all those appointments in the family of the Fitzpatrick, so to speak, and then reschedule them all at once. I've definitely heard that. I don't know if we have challenges on trying to figure out how that works. And if you do put in feature requests from a help ticket, give us as much information as how you see that working. If you see that already in the software that you used to do, give us some screenshots to show us how it worked. The more you can help us with the feature request to design that feature, since you already know how it works in another software, you have an idea of how you'd like to see it work, give us that information. It will make it so much easier for us to make it into a feature when you've helped us to design it, as opposed to, hey, I want to be able to do family scheduling. Gee, I wonder what that means, right?
And there's one thing on this screen that's a fairly recent feature as well, and we've gotten several tickets about it. Hey, all of my appointments have disappeared from my patient's history. What in the world happened there? And you better bring them back. The thing is, they're never lost, but we do from a past release. And again, if you want to look at any of our releases, they are right in here, all the explanations about what we've done to the program. We had to tighten up the efficiency of the program to make it more efficient and responsive for everyone. And so we determined to archive old appointments past a particular date. And so right here on this patient record, if you know you've been seeing that patient for quite some time, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 8 years, 10 years, and you want to get a listing of all of the appointments that are archived for that patient, then you can click that button and get a listing of all of their appointments. Well, obviously, we've only been using this account here for our webinar this year, so I don't have any outside parameters to show you for the appointments archived, but you might have that available, and you're seeing right here, as of January 1st, 2015, what were the older appointments for that patient. So you might consider that, no, it's not lost, we just need to look at it in a little bit different way.
Thanks, Charmaine. So I have a question Regina's asking. How do you override blocked time for appointment? That'll be our last question, and then we'll just thank everybody for coming and come visit us again. Come join us in all of our webinars that we have. Yep.
Exactly. Well, so for instance, if I want to make an appointment for the patient that I just had, let's just go to his treatment plan, and let's just pick up, he wants to go ahead and get that endodontic work done. Let's make that appointment for him. And we need 75 minutes of time, but that's going to eat into my provider's lunch break. The provider says, no worries, I'm not going to fuss about that. If I do have security right to make an appointment, there he's off the missed and called list, I'm going to go ahead and make this appointment for the time that I want, and it tells me, oops, wait a minute, by the way, this provider is really supposed to be going to lunch during part of that appointment. Do I really want to override and make the appointment over the provider's lunchtime? If I say yes, it allows me to do that, provided I've got the security rights to do so. I'm going to add that appointment, the procedure into that appointment. Click Save, and now that appointment stretches over that lunch break for that provider. You might or might not have security rights to override a provider's off time, and you might or might not have the ability to override a particular watermark in the background. If you have those cranky, hey, you can't do that messages, talk to your office administration staff, your office manager, your higher-ups, whoever it may be, and talk to them about your security rights to be able to let you do that or not. That's up to them to allow you to do that. Denticon cannot make that change for you.
Yep, that would be under Setup, Security, Groups. Edit the group and you'll see the rights. Well, all right, everybody. So thank you, as always, for taking time out of your busy day. We really appreciate your attendance here. Denticon is the great product that it is from the feedback of our users. So please, continue to come to these webinars. We're on a journey together to go through all aspects of Denticon. Please do make our future webinars. We'll be hosting an hour every 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll put the registration on the login page. Thank you so much. You're our valued customers. Have a fantastic, blessed 2017 success and health for you all. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.